back from that beautiful song, and of course my mom letting me know that she really loves the musician Henry Huruma Mruma, not Huruma, featuring Good Luck Msuya. Thank you so much, mom, for watching, and just thanking God for the opportunity that we have here to be a blessing to the people who are watching. Thank you, mom, for always tuning in, for always supporting, and of course my lovely family, also my husband and son, always tune in and letting me know that they are loving the show. Thank you so much. Even the rest of the people who are also tuned in. There's a lady called Solange who is the leader of our Bible study group, always sharing these devotions, with our group, our Safari group. That's our Bible study group. So it really warms my heart whenever I see people sharing and getting blessed by what we do here on Hope at Dawn. And right about now, it's time for us to have a peep at the newspapers, see what is being reported, see what is the nation saying, what is even not just Kenya, but just beyond, what are the news that we can draw from it. And of course, I love to say that this is always an opportunity for us to praise God for the many wonderful things that are happening, and to also pray so that the Lord will intervene in some of the issues and the matters that are affecting us as a country. I mean, one of the realities that we have right now is that when we move over to the second, not the second, actually the year that is coming in 2026, what that means is that now the campaigns are going to get serious, and we are now going to be moving towards 2027 when we are going to be having elections. So don't wait for that time to start praying. Begin to send your prayers into the future, because I can promise you guys, we need prayers more than ever before, because we saw what happened with Tanzania. We don't know what's going to happen even in other African countries. There's just been a lot of chaos. So we need to really pray so that the Lord will cover us, so that we will have a peaceful elections. We can have peaceful elections. We have had them before. So we need to get to that place whereby we decide that, by the way, we are not going to shed blood because of someone who doesn't even know you and doesn't even care about you. We cannot kill ourselves, our own people, just because the election went this way or that way. We have to really be our brother's keeper. And even as the elections are dawning and coming near, let us maintain peace and harmony. We are not enemies. We're supposed to be friends as a nation. And let us just look at the Daily Nation to start us off, what is being reported. And the top story here is protect our citizens, Kenya tells Tanzania. And I'm seeing here many living in fear amid threats of victimization on suspicion of taking part in protests. This is quite interesting, because now Kenya is being associated with protests. So of course Tanzania is looking at it from the angle of these Kenyans who are part of the protest. And it's unfortunate, because I'm seeing here in a meeting led by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, the government yesterday demanded answers from Tanzania on the fate of Kenyans who have been caught up in the post-election crisis, asking Dodoma to guarantee their safety and to take action against any infringement of their rights. This is a story covered on pages 4 and 5. We can only hope and pray that this will be heeded too. PCS Musalia Mudavadi adding, during the engagement, we emphasized the importance of ensuring the safety and security of all foreign nationals, including members of the Kenyan diaspora community, who continue to contribute to Tanzania's economic development through legitimate business activities and professional services. This is what Musalia Mudavadi, who is the Prime Cabinet Secretary, said with regards to that, and just calling out Tanzania's government to take care of our people and not to victimize them or even give them false accusations. And I also see here on the education, 2,145 primary schools face closure merger as enrollment shrinks. I see here the institutions across the country failed to meet the minimum enrollment threshold of 45 learners, says Education Ministry, a story that has been covered on page 3. I also see Morning Baba, why grave visits will not end anytime soon. This is interesting. This week, a group of mourners contacted the family of the late Prime Minister Raila Odinga to visit Kango Kajaramogi, his resting place, but was shocked when they were told the next available slot is December 30th. Okay, this is serious. The program is jam-packed with hundreds of visitors streaming in daily, some 19 days after his burial. Despite her lingering sorrow at losing her husband, Ida Odinga continues to welcome mourners to her home in Bondo with remarkable grace and warmth. Such a beautiful thing. That is a story covered on page 10. And I also see here an image here, giving us the information of Wiper Patriotic Front leader Kalonzo Musyoka drives a herd of cattle into the compound of the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga in Bondo, Siaya County when he went to condole with the family yesterday. So brought a whole herd of cows, I think as a gift. And I'm also seeing here, page 14, Kidero acquitted of 213 million shillings corruption charge. So court rules the former Nairobi governor and 5 others have no case to answer in trial that has taken more than 5 years. Can you imagine? That's a story covered on page 14, and you can have a look at it. And I'm just looking also at the Daily Nation sports news here. Nakumicha, a 16-year-old female wrestler defying stereotypes. So you can have a look at that. So it's interesting, women are in wrestling. Indeed, it is defying the stereotypes. Quite an interesting story right there, but you can have a look at it on the Daily Nation. And now let us have a look at the Standard, and I see here sales of death. At least 17 Kenyans have died in police custody in less than 2 years, and this is exposing the grim reality of torture, cover-ups and systematic neglect inside the country's police cells. And the Independent Medical Legal Unit paints a chilling picture of suspects who enter police custody alive and never make it out. Across the country, the pattern is disturbingly similar. Unexplained death, hastily written police reports, and families left searching for truth that never comes. And of course, this has been covered on the Standard newspaper extensively, 17 being the number of Kenyans who have died in police custody, leaving families searching for answers from likely perpetrators. It's quite an unfortunate thing, because the police are supposed to protect us. The police, as they say, are supposed to be our friends. But when such things are happening, it only exposes the moral degradation that we have in our country. So let us keep praying and also hoping that, the Lord will indeed intervene. I also see, the Standard covering Tanzania has lost 560 billion Tanzanian shillings through internet shutdown. And that's a story that has been covered on the Standard as well. So those are just the aftermath and the effects that were there with the internet shutdown. And 560 billion Tanzanian shillings, that's quite an amount. And that story has been covered extensively as well. I also see Governor James Orengo was presented with a walking stick by a Kamba elder as Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka looks on. This is quite interesting. You can have a look at that story as well. Of course, the political struggles and wrangles continue in our nation, even as we are gearing up towards the 2027 elections. We can only wait and see what people will come up with. Yesterday, we covered a political party that has a sufuria as one of its symbols. So interestingly, there will be a lot coming up. But looking at the Business Daily, I see here NSE valuation nears 3 trillion shillings milestone as shares surge. And I also see here Kenya snabs 129 billion shillings UAE loan for Eurobonds. Hiring stalls despite strong business activity jump, also covered on the Business Daily. I also see why Kenya Power is rationing electricity to some areas. Also a story of importance that needs our attention as well. Michael Masharia here saying every founder must become a lifelong student, and in Africa that learning every founder must become a lifelong student, and in Africa, that learning must start from the first spark of a startup. A story also covered right there on the Business Daily, and you can have a look at it. And actually, that was, I think, yesterday, a quote of yesterday. But today, I see IMF forced Kenya to swap SGR dollar loan for yuan. I also see NSE closes above 3 trillion shillings milestone for the first time. And I also see banks banks under pressure to reveal average risk premium in loans. And also art lovers spend 30 million shillings on painting sculptures at auction. That is, see, nilikuwa nadhani hizi vitu ni za wazungu. You know, people spending millions, you know, on art, but that is an interesting story covered on the Business Daily. Anthony Munyare here saying, in this new era, tax technology is no longer a back office function. It is a strategic enabler. And you can have a look at that. So that's it for the newspaper review today. You know, you can always tune in to Hope TV at 7 p.m. and also at 9 p.m. for news updates. Although today from 7 to 8, of course, we are going to have Men on Record with Gigi, who has not been with me here for quite some time, but he will be back soon. Worry not. You just keep waiting patiently. But I see it's 52 minutes past 7. So let's now have a look at the video of the day.